time for Ink the Book Show with your host, Ryan O'Connor. And now, let's ink the book.
Whoa, holy smokes, everybody. It's your old pal, Ryan O'Connor, here ready to do another comp page. Let's get this light off me a little bit. The lighting is constantly needing to be adjusted around here. I gotta figure out what I'm doing. Let's see. Got my tea. Got my stuff ready here. It's just a snowy mid-November day, no matter what Jim Gaffigan might tell you. I shouldn't lay on him too hard. He's just trying to be a cool Christian. It's okay. We love him. Yeah, I did some a little bit of non-art work today, just making money. Let's see, and then I was kind of driving around, just checking out this downtown area a few towns over, just seeing what I could find. Didn't find much. Found some Mexican food, which I shouldn't have bought and ate because I'm trying to eat healthier. But rules were made to be broken. I'm ready to draw. I've been putting it off all day. It's been getting put off all day. Not so much that I've been putting it off. How about that? I took a few hours ago because I don't want to be passing out on stream. But like a couple times earlier this week. But then I woke up and I found out my roommate's parents were coming over for dinner. So I wanted to, I didn't want to flake on that. So this got pushed ways. But now we are here. I made notes. Yeah, I'm hoping I'm up at 4 a.m. again tomorrow. The past 2 days, I was talking earlier this week about how I've been getting up at 4:30 a lot for a majority of this week. O'clock and then 8 o'clock. No, today I woke up at, what was it? I guess I left the house at 7:30. So I think I got up at about 7 this morning. But yeah, I took like it was supposed to be a half-hour nap. I think it ended up being an hour and a half. I'm always scared to take naps because I love to go to sleep and never get out of bed. But that's how I am in general too. I hate going to bed. I hate going to sleep. I get all keyed up at night and I can't get to sleep. And then I never want to get out of bed once I fall asleep. So sometimes I really need to take naps, but I avoid it with all my might because I'll sleep the day away, and I hate that. I hate wasting my day. But today it was kind of necessary. I was like, I do not want to fall asleep, and I don't want to cut a stream short, and I don't want to fall asleep on the stream or something. What else? Yeah, so this afternoon, I went out for a drive, and I went to this downtown area. I mentioned that. I was looking for these little shops that I'd seen a while back. Didn't quite. It was like a couple years ago, and I was trying to find the area. I know I was pretty close, but I couldn't quite find what I was looking for. So it was kind of a moot trip, but I found this cool Mexican food place. And I mean, I was out there, and I was just starving, so I had to find something to eat. And I just kept seeing all these tantalizing Mexican food places, and I had to give in because I was like about an hour from home. Maybe not so far as an hour, but 40 minutes or so. And if I waited till I got home, I would have to cook, and that didn't sound like a fun idea. What else? Oh, this morning I finished my second listen of the Norm Macdonald based on a true story audiobook, and I realized the last time I listened to it, he was alive, and this time he's dead, and it just kind of had a different, like, he was aware that, like, I mean, the whole time, so much of the book talks about like him, like the possibility of him dying, or I think in the book he actually dies once or twice. God and the devil, both in the story. It's such a strange book, but it's wonderful. It's memoir, part novel, part it's such an interesting story. And I was remarking to my brother, who's also a huge Norm Macdonald fan, about how I'm familiar with all these like kind of inside jokes that he kind of worked into the book from kind of the Norm Macdonald live show in that kind of period. Such a great book. If you haven't checked it out, I'm sure the physical book is great. I think I got to get my hands on it. I bought it for my brother, and I downloaded it on Audible last year, like over a year. Yeah, last Christmas I think it was, and they're watching hockey downstairs and freaking out. What was I saying? But so I'm sure there are benefits to reading the physical book. You get the Louis C.K. Introduction or foreword, which I read before I gave it to my brother. I'm a big Louis C.K. fan too, and I know he's done crappy things. But damn, I was a huge fan. I've seen him live many times. Big fan of his comedy. But he does the forward, but also so the reason I listened to the book a second time in the first place was because my brother had just finally finished reading it. He was trying to listen to it a lot, and falling asleep because he would listen to it as he was going to bed, and he kept falling asleep. He was trying to listen to it in his car or something, but he like he couldn't concentrate or something, and so he finally decided to read the physical book, and he finally finished it, and he was like going on and on about the last 3 pages, which he sent me pictures of. How it's just like a bunch of run-on sentences that have no punctuation or anything, and which I didn't pick up on when I listened to it the first time. This time I could hear like how he read it, and like knowing that now, I was kind of cracking up about it. But so there's kind of like that I'm sure you're missing out on in the physical book. Also in the audio book, you get like some impressions that he does. Like I said yesterday or the day before, it's a 7-hour listen if you do the audio book, so it's not too time consuming. I listened to like the last 20 minutes or something, maybe only 12 minutes this morning, and other than that, I got through a lot of it the past 2 days. Pretty much. But yeah, so there's a couple impressions that he does, like yeah, like I said yesterday, I think it was, you hear his Rodney Dangerfield impression because he's reading. So he's talking about conversations he's had with like Rodney Dangerfield, and when he's reading, stuff Rodney Dangerfield said, he's doing his voice. He does a bunch of voices. Like some of them are like his uncle or something, or Lorne Michaels, who I don't know what he sounds like in real life, but I assume he's doing his best to Lorne Michaels, and he's doing a Rodney Dangerfield, which is pretty entertaining. And then at one point he does one line as like Adam Sandler, which I thought was It was quick. It was very brief, but it was pretty good, I thought. And same with Chris Farley. I heard after I did that last stream. He doesn't. He and the Chris Farley one cracked me up. It was funny. But so I'm just saying. I think either way, either way, consume the book. You're missing out on something from the other version. You know what I mean? A little bit. Each one has its own little perks to it. But I recommend it. I could listen to that book again. I think it's a good one that first of all, it's super entertaining. Very I got a lot of good laughs out of that. Even this second reading, I was pretty impressed that I was still finding the same laughs and new laughs. Oh, God bless you, Norm. We miss you. We really do. So I gotta find my next book I'm gonna read. I think I want to finish this one, which I started reading a long time ago. I don't remember how far I got into it. I might even start it over. But yeah, I've talked about the John Swartzwelder, Frank Burley books. This is the first one. He put one out in 2020, which I think was after a 1 or 2 year hiatus. But he's got about, I don't know, like 15, 20 out. And almost all of them are about the Frank Burley detective character. And they are just hysterical. Like, what I did was, when I first discovered them, I went on to Amazon and the little preview of each book, and just those previews were killing me. So I would recommend those. I also need to finish my copy of the Screw Tape Letters. I might do that first because I'm very close to finishing that. And I know exactly where I left off on that one, so that would make sense. I'm also seeing this book of Isaac Asimov short stories. I've never read a long form Isaac Asimov story, like I, Robot, or what is it called, Nightfall. I've never read any of his long form stuff. I've only read his shorts, and I love a lot of them. What is it called? The Most Important Question, or something like that, or the first answer. What is it called? Asimov question. The last question, I think. Yeah, dude. The last. It's a short story. It's 9 pages. Okay, and if you just look up The Last Question by Isaac Asimov, check it out. Good sci-fi. I love it. Yeah. Oh, and It's really good. It's surprised me, but there's a lot of cool stories. I like the. Is that the one that I have right there? Let me see. Yeah. The Union Club Mysteries. I forget what the. It's like a bunch of characters. When four old gentlemen settle back in their club's comfortably aristocratic library to while away the afternoon, one of their number keeps rousing himself from his post-luncheon slumbers to tales of intrigue, giving Isaac Asimov the perfect another facet of his protean imagination. Protean? Like his creator, Ventura encourages a sharp mind and so challenges his listeners to exercise theirs on solving his mysteries while he returns to his nap. There are no tricks up his tweedy sleeve. The motive, means, and opportunity are all in the story. It only takes a certain amount of applied imagination or the turning of a page to deduce the proper sequence, to weigh the clues properly, and to turn a puzzle into a finished package. The teller obligingly supplies the endings to everyone's immense surprise and satisfaction. There are 30 mystery shorts never before collected between a book's covers, each crafted with Asimovian artistry, studded with Asimovian wit, embellished with Asimovian asides, and propelled by that special Asimovian way with a story. Anyway, so it's just like five guys. And yeah, one of them, let me see. I recall it being that one of them, yeah, I guess the sleeping guy is the one that tells the story. He'll tell a story, and they all kind of like, the rest of them kind of like puzzle it out and try to figure out the mystery at hand in the story. And then they're like, hey, aren't you going to tell us how it was? It's like everyone is kind of this formula. I believe they were written for some magazine or something. It was like a little thing in a magazine. And they rouse him awake, like, hey, weren't you going to tell us how it ends? And he's like, oh, and some simple, quick solution, some clever little quick solution. And he had another series like this that I don't have a book of, but I would like a book of. It was like a section in another collection of Asimov short stories, but it was a similar kind of formula where the waiter Henry would always figure out the answer for them based on whatever like little mystery the crew is trying to crack. They'd be like, by Jove, Henry, I knew you'd be the man to ask, and then I'll alert them at once and go tell whoever's wife that it was an ice sculpture that had melted. Whatever the heck. No, but I haven't read one of them in forever, but I love those little Asimov mysteries. He's delightful. So yeah, I might dig into him. I know I've brought those books on vacation and just burned through them in like downtime between events or something. Speaking of books, today is the actual release day for They Might Be Giants what is it? Their 23rd album, Book. It's called Book. And I know everyone knows what a TMBG nut I am, and I'm in the fan club, so I got the book like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago or something. Maybe a week ago. I don't know. I guess it was probably closer to 2. Let me see. Does it say? It's the 23rd studio album by They Might Be Giants. The album is available in a variety of configurations, including a 144-page hardcover art book containing the album on CD, as well as vinyl, cassette, standalone CD, and 8-track. Though I think the 8-track sold out real fast because they were only making that available for so long. Let's see. Yeah, and it's huge. I showed it off in a earlier video where you see it's 12 by 12. It's ginormous. I think I showed it. Yeah, because I was critiquing the art. But since you can stream it now on Spotify, you can buy it on Amazon, you can buy it on iTunes is what I actually meant to say there, but both. I can talk about it a little bit now, I feel. So I did make a list of this is something that I heard them do on the Don't Let's Start podcast. They ranked the book. They ranked the tracks from best to worst, in their opinion, or at least the one guy did. And I kind of wanted to do that too. So I figured I could go through the track listing from my favorite to least favorite. And that said, I'm a fan of the album. I like all the tracks. Ultimately, I mean, it's grown on me a lot since the first listen. I didn't know how I felt about half of the album on the first listen. But it has grown on me a lot. But the ranking is kind of what I've settled on. And I'll say it's probably not my favorite album. It does feel a lot like I Like Fun to me, their last album. But it's not as strong as I Like Fun. I'll say that. I mean, the packaging of Gotta Have It, it sure adds a lot to it. It's pretty neat. And you know, the doubled in there. One of my favorite songs actually doesn't have its lyrics in there included. Just the one song on that album. But it's got a bunch of other lyrics too from other recent albums. But you got to kind of flip around and find the song you're on, and then when you're following the lyrics, so many of them, it's like a word search almost. Like you got to, because it's kind of like an art piece, the arrangement of the lyrics sheet. You know what I mean? So it's and then there's all this photography in it. It's very immersive, which I think they said on the Don't Let's Start podcast that I listened to, which I would agree with. It was very immersive, and I've barely gone through all of that book. I mostly just went through the book section of book. And there's other stuff in there before and after, and it's really cool. My biggest complaint about it, and I've heard people complain about its sheer size, the fact that it's a 12-inch by 12-inch book. It's hard to shelve, but I think I believe the intention is not necessarily to be on a bookshelf, but to be shelved with your records. So that's something to take into consideration, I suppose. Right about the size of a record. I believe most records are 12 by 12. I mean, there's 10-inch, but like the vinyl sleeves, if I'm not mistaken. But my biggest complaint, I don't have a problem with that. It does stand right out among all my other bulky books as being ginormous. I suppose it would be best on the end of my shelf, like to literally bookend the rest of my books. I think it would be the least obnoxious. But it's got the CD tucked in the front. I think they originally wanted to be able to put a vinyl record in the cover, but for some reason couldn't make it happen. I can't understand why that would be. Well, I just heard an interview where they said it to arrange simultaneously or something like that. I don't know, but but anyway, my biggest complaint is the office of Paul Sayre, who I don't care for this minimalist artwork that he does. Some of the projects that he's done with them, I can appreciate. I am mostly over this guy. They use him for everything for the past 10 years about now. And I'm pretty over this kind of artwork. Let me show you. So this is the cover of the book. And honestly, I am not wild about this. If this was it, I'd be, if it just had this and not all this, I guess it bothers me less in person than seeing images of it on the internet. I don't know. It just seems lazy and kind of unartistic to me. Now, there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on the lyrics sheets throughout that I don't have a problem with any of it. Oh, look at this one. This is wild. This is for the communists have the music. It's wild looking. No, that's fine. It just bothers me that that's what they came up with for the cover. And what really bothers me is this ugly back cover. I don't know. I'm not into it. And the CD cover, the CD edition, just being a that's the photographer who does the interior art photography of these two, but it's just like a single broken piece of vinyl. I'll show you the piece of art. It's right at the beginning somewhere. sitting on a industrial carpet or something, and it's just like, and there's no text or anything on the CD cover, no band name, no album title. It's just this image, this right here, and it just seems so insultingly minimal. Where I was saying in the other show, like, I hope they only had to pay the minimal fee for this minimalist art. But I think they could get much better art for their albums. What was like, I like Fun and My Murdered Remains having the same kind of especially My Murdered Remains. I didn't appreciate that it was the same thing but with fingers on it. Like, I don't know, whatever. What do I know? But it just seems a little under, like a little lack of effort. That's all. Like, I mean, then there's Phone Power, and there's Album Raises New and Troubling Questions. Album raises new and troubling questions. I don't mind. I that's fine to me. But it was Phone Power. I was like, this is truly underwhelming. Anyway, let's see. I'm gonna look for that track listing that I made. Okay, I'm gonna start with the worst, and not to say it's a, like, I hate the song or anything, but it is the lowest on ones that I feel like listening to. I mean, one of them had to be the last, and this one's mine. So let's see. 15. Darling the Dose. I like the topic. The music, I felt, was not pushed hard enough or something. It yeah, it's got like this kind of is it jazzy? It's I don't know what you'd call it. I think it's going for like a jazzy kind of thing. Whatever it's going for, I feel like it's not pushed hard enough. It's a little undersold in the genre it's after. Oh, I didn't finish this either. But so that, I think that's why it doesn't. It does. I'm not too excited to listen to that track again. I don't go. It's not one that kind of gets stuck in my head very much, and as much as some other ones. Even other tracks that I didn't like as much on the first few listens, eventually they like, I'd start getting parts of them stuck in my head. Not so much this one, Darling the Dose. Like I say, it's not terrible. I like it. I like the idea. I like the style. I like some of the lyrics in that a lot. I think his singing, Flansburgh's singing on it, is good. I just feel like they should have leaned into it a little more. Like, I don't know. I think they should have dug in a little deeper on that one. Kind of padded it out. It's a little too soft to straightforward or something. I don't know. Then number 14, I would say, is I Lost Thursday, which was the first one. Now, that might be part of what's affecting my decision here. It was the first one revealed to the public during the pandemic, actually. I don't even know if it was written as a track for the album originally. I think it was just kind of a response to being cooped up and everybody staying inside and like but I wasn't too wild about it when it came out. I certainly didn't think it was an album track, you know what I mean? It just sounded like the kind of tracks they used to give out once a month back during the podcast days. They used to release a new free track about once a month. And it just kind of felt like given away before. And I think they're giving this one away, and you could pay what you want for it, and they would give the proceeds to charity at the time when it first came out. And it's all right. I mean, it actually it's more at home on the album than I expected, and I actually liked it in the context of the album more than I had previously liked the track. That really surprised me that I was suddenly digging it more. Did not see that coming. So they've put like tracks that have kind of overstayed their welcome onto albums before. Like I think on Phone Power, if I'm not mistaken, they put Getting Up So Down. Let's see, Phone Power's right here. No, it's not that one. Oh yeah, Upside Down. They put that one on there, and that was like actually I believe that was a Dunkin' Donuts track. And it's like they also gave that one away years ahead of time, and it would show up on the podcast. It would show up here and there. Like it just kind of kept coming up, and then they put it on Phone Power, and it was like, why? It's like it, and when they revealed that I Lost Thursday was going to be on the new album, that's kind of how I felt. Like, why? Like, we don't need. I don't know. Like, I feel like you got better songs. It feels like a demo. But no, it did feel more at home than I expected, and I was kind of like, I was kind of like ready for it when it would come on. I was listening to it, but that said, I think just being familiar with it for over a year before the album came out, I was still kind of I'm still more underwhelmed by that track than every one of the newer ones. You know what I mean? And then so now at 13, we have If Day for Winnipeg, which is it's a cute track. I like it. Sounds kind of like a you know like a toy music box opens up and start doing this song. It's not bad. I like it. It's a very interesting piece of music. It must be one of the shortest tracks on the album. Let me take a look real quick. If I can find out. Okay. Oh, it doesn't show me here. Dang. One of the shortest on the album. I could find out if I took another minute to investigate, but I'm not gonna. But it's a quick little track. I think the reason it's so low for me is it's a little too TikTok-y, and it's like it's a little plain in that way, like in its arrangement. It's got some interesting sounds that I like, and I think I like when they use strange, interesting sounds and make them work for the track, like make a unique track out of interesting sounds. The music is interesting. But it's almost like done a little too plainly. But also, it just sounds a little like the lyrics are a little. They almost seem like pushy or like messagey, and like I suppose they are, but it just feels a little aggressive in that way, where like not to say anything about whatever message that is. I'm just saying that's just I just kind of feel like I'm being preached to one way or another when I listen to it, and it's like that. It kind of it kind of I get kind of like moody as a response to it. Like, don't tell me what to do. Almost. Um, that's all. It's a cute song. I like it, but there's like a little like a little like aggravation in me when I hear it, because it does sound like it's like kind of bossing me around a little bit. Like I say, not to say one way or another that it's saying anything. Um, but it just feels a little aggressive to me in a way that makes it a little. Um, then at 12, I have Quit the Circus, and this one was a grower on me. I actually really love the sound of the music. There's cool stuff going on there that it just really sounds like it was in it like it reminds me of 60s music. I actually can't imagine the part that I'm thinking of right now. But that's kind of the problem with it. It's like it doesn't like when I first listened to it, it was a bunch of Flan songs on this album did not grab me at all on the first couple listens. And I was kind of bummed out by that, because he's like I love how strong Flans can be, and it bums me out that people don't. I did a whole thing on Flansburgh when I think when I first heard the album, but I was kind of disappointed that he has so many tracks on this album that aren't as grabby as they could be or should be. Because I like to champion Flansburgh for how great his stuff is, because people love to talk about how great Linnell is so much, which he can be, but I would say there's albums where Flans is the power player on the album way over Linnell. I would say that about Join Us. I think Flans, if I had to use my imagination, because I can't explicitly think of the tracks on Join Us too clearly without looking at the track list now. But I think Join Us is a really strong Flansburgh album. That's one of my favorite albums of They Might Be Giants. Let's see. Linnell's got two. But yeah, that is a really strong Flansburgh album. He really kicked butt on that one. And I don't hear too many people talk about Join Us all that much, but like immediately upon that was one of my favorite They Might Be Giants albums. So we're on Quit the Circus. It did grow on me. It sounds kind of mono puffy to me, and I know he was at least originally planning the creation of the fan club, which I haven't heard him mention it since the offering was first made. So I don't know if he backed out of that idea, but I thought he was still going to put out some EP, and we haven't heard about it. So I wonder what's going to happen. If anything, I mean, I know the promise of a new John Linnell EP and a new Monopuff EP was a big selling point for a lot of people. I hope he puts them out, even if I don't get a physical edition of it. Anyway, this song sounds a little monopuffy to me. Now I can hear it in my head. And yeah, very 60s-ish, monopuffy. I like Quit the Circus. I really do. I really do. I think that could move up for me in number 12. But it especially didn't grab me in the first couple listens. It was a little too plain. It's another one I feel could be pushed a bit harder to be more interesting. But it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I really like that track, actually. Above that, at number 11, I have Lord Snowden, which is another grower. It's very vibey. Like there's the line of on the outside looking out. And I think from that point on, I just get this like very something kind of cold, and it's just got like this autumn, this gloomy autumn day feel to the track somehow. So very vibey for me. It's definitely another one that's growing on me. Again, could have been a bit more interesting, I felt, but not bad. And I think I'm not sure. I feel like Snowden and Circus are kind of neck and neck for me. Easily, those could be swapped for me. And at number 10, I've got Brontosaurus, which I'm almost surprised is that low, but it's a very like upon first listen, it's immediately a fun track. Like it's track 4. They've always got a strong track 4. Somebody pointed that out to me years ago, and I've found it to be true ever since. They've always got a pretty strong track 4. And this one is immediately very fun. I thought it was going to be one of my favorite tracks on the album. It got bumped down to number 10. It turns out of 15. So my problem with it, I think, is the I don't know the lyrics I feel aren't as fun as I felt they were originally. I feel like I thought it was more interesting the first few times I listened to it, and it's not as interesting. It's like I realized or something a little while later. It wasn't as interesting as I thought it was. I think my big problem actually is the arrangement of the lyrics. So, or it's like technically like doesn't it's like it technically irritates me. Like I gotta look up this song. Let me see here. It's right here. Just waiting for it to load. So there's the part. So first verse, Brontosaurus, Brontosaurus. Then and then in the next verse it's like a Brontosaurus, like a Brontosaurus. Then the third one, people found it easy to ignore this Brontosaurus, Brontosaurus. It like, and it seems to like fluctuate how long that weirdly inconsistent. Like, I think it 2 times it's 7 of those, like up down or whatever that you would call that. It's like 7 of it, and then other times it's 4, other times it's like 2. I don't know. It's weird, and then like realizing the lyrics weren't anything all that special for a lot of it. I don't know. It would have been higher upon my first few listens, but it certainly got bumped down for me. And it's mostly that technical where the lyrics are just the arrangement of the lyrics seem not mathematic right or something. Above that at number 9, I'm surprised this is this low. Synopsis for Latecomers, which is a great opener. It's a strong opener. I love the dreadfulness of it. I love how it's like this uncomfortable sounding lyric. Like it just fills you with dread. I like that it like promises to resolve these concerns you have, and then just doodly 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 like yes, didn't we wrap that up nicely? That's all the questions that time will permit. like like shooing you away, and then let's see, at number 8 I have, so I really like Synopsis Latecomers, and it's number 9. So everything else from here on out, like, I like it. Let's see. Some people complain. Oh no, hold on. I'm on number 8. I broke my own rule. It's fun TMBG. It's I almost go into every They Might Be Giants album wondering what's the new thing that they're gonna do on this one. What's the different thing that they're gonna do on this one? And because they always seem to be pulling out some new lyrical tricks, some new funky idea on some song, and I think this is the main one where they're doing something different with for their idea of a song. But it's not wild or anything, but like this one's got the I broke my own. He just kind of repeats segments of each lyric throughout the entire song, like I can't load fast enough. Okay, let's see. We're looking for I broke my own. Douche. Say that word. Like, it's just a noise that I apparently make sometimes. I've done that before on this show. I say it not as a word, but as an onomatopoeia or a grievance. So the first verse is, everything's wrecked, everything is wrecked. Smashed up, destroyed, smashed up, and destroyed. I broke my rule, I broke my own rule. Now there's no rules, there's no rules anymore. Here's the first, like, I don't know if you would call it a bridge, but there's two kind of bridges. So one being climbed it. Oh, no. Dang, that's not what I want to say. So that's kind of like a normal verse. Where's the... I'll lay me down in the dark and sad empty room at the end of the hallway at the end, way at the end of time. And he's just kind of like repeating himself, kind of staggering the sentences throughout the entire song. And it's like the new different song on this album. So that's why I like this one, or that's what I like about this one. And then let's see, I broke my own rule. Number 7 is Moonbeam Rays. So this album opens with Synopsis for Latecomers, and then it goes into Moonbeam Rays. And it was like I had just heard Synopsis Comers, and then Moonbeam Rays comes on, and by the time Moonbeam Rays ended, I was just like, okay, yeah, this is going to be a great album. And had really high hopes for it by the time Moonbeam Rays ended. And this one I hear people kind of dumping on. And I think this is one of Flanz's best efforts on this album. I'm really bummed out that people don't seem to like it very much. It's kind of a straightforward pop song. I say it made me smile by the time it was over. I was like, yeah. This album has hope. And yeah, I really dig it. It's simple. It's good. It reminds me a little bit of All Time What from I Like Fun. Which, you know, I recall people liking that when that one came out. All Time What's pretty good. But anyway, I like Moonbeam Rays. I think it was one of Flanz's strongest tracks on this one. Above that, I have at number 6, Less Than One. This is the closer to the album. It's really fun. Really fun closer. Exciting lines in this song. I like the, I read a review of the album like right before I got my copy, and they mention this track, and they talk about the half of a timeshare, half of me will be staying there line, which is pretty funny. Yeah, it's a funny little line in there. I like the. I'm trying to remember how it goes. Spoiler alert about this song, I guess. If you haven't heard it, I'm just gonna read some of my favorite lyrics from it. Less Than One. And I only before I got the proper lyrics, because I'll have you know the book lyrics of this song, they cut it in half, so you only get half the lyrics printed out. So I didn't get this song until it went on. I couldn't make out the song anyway until they went up on the This Might Be a Wiki thing. But there's like I could only make out half this verse, but I think it's the chorus of the song, which I really enjoyed, but I couldn't tell what he was saying after that. So I took a walk, I got tired, I turned around, and I almost got almost tired and turned around again, which killed me. I thought that was great. But the full thing is, I took a walk, I got tired, I turned around, and I got almost home, but then I got tired and turned around again. I wrote this down, I erased it. I was filled with remorse for both erasing it and also for writing it down. And then, let's see. Oh, I also like the part that says, where is it? I was not entirely wrong. I've got that I don't have, has got a migraine. I was really excited about the rhyming of brain and migraine like that. So yeah, this one really pumped me up. I was really excited about that one. like upon the second listen. I think I don't know how into it I was the very first time, but when it came on the second time, I know I was excited for it. So now we're down to the top five tracks of the book for me. Let me finish this dang panel. I am crawling because I'm gabbing so much and reading my notes. I've been on for how long? Over an hour. I've done like a panel and a half, which is not my worst, I'm sure, but let me finish a panel and then I'll do my top five. My roommates, who are a couple. It's my buddy and his girlfriend, who is also my buddy now, since I met her 5 years ago. Ooh, that's annoying. She just got a new job, so I think they're going out to celebrate. They're going out to Starved Rock. I don't know if it's for the weekend or just the day. Or I think it must be for the weekend. These infernal books. I always draw bookshelves, and I always make it way more hard on myself the way I do it. So I make them all different sizes and shapes, and I make them all disheveled and at funny angles, and man, I saw there's this artist Jason Brubaker, right, who did a book called Phobos recently, and let me see. I'm still getting distracted. On my shelf. If I can find it. Maybe it's not in this. Maybe it's another book of his. I have Phobos though. Just rectangles, man. It's just rectangles. He does it digitally, but he'll lasso tool shapes and then just fill them in with color. He's smart. He's a smartist. I bought another book by him that is like a how to draw book, kind of. It's cognitive drawing. I really recommend it. It's very helpful. I can really see it being very helpful for people who don't know how to draw, and apparently it is. It's like the guy who's coming out for one of the guys that's coming out for Thanksgiving. So I'll have to ask him if he's dug into it at all. new album that was officially released today. Their 23rd studio album. I think there's a couple albums in there that are not technically their studio albums. They're like the B-side albums. I think they're getting classified differently on the wiki. Late Giants nerd I am. It's disgusting. And I was filled with remorse. About erasing it, writing it down. I don't remember how it goes exactly. So when I got Mexican food today, I got a chorizo torta. And I get it with everything on it. And it comes with avocado on it. And, lettuce and tomato and sour cream and I don't know, cheese. It's like a big old chorizo sandwich. It's delicious. And I get those all the time, really. Whenever I get Mexican food anymore, really. Gotta have a chorizo torta in there. But I also got nachos con carne because I'm a glutton. And it was like this huge, like two-person meal of nachos. I didn't realize I was gonna do all that. But then again, it's like whenever we've gotten nachos from Mexican food place before, it always ends up being that huge, like, feast. It was like, yeah, easily a two-person meal, if not for like 4 or 5 people. So I still got a bunch of that sitting in the fridge. Unexamined, unobserved for the foreseeable future, it would seem. Though I did offer them up to my roommates who won't be here. Unless they snuck a swipe at him already. Which actually I do not think they did. And I don't like throwing food out, so I'm going to probably be living off that. In just a bit. Ryan O'Connor's Top 5 called book. After I finish this panel. I'm a coward. It's a miracle I dare breathe. Overpowered by the gentlest summer breeze. Even when I close my eyes, I like to think that I'm hiding. That's from the album Glean. It's a Flan's track called I'm a Coward. Glean's a pretty good album. And man, I often think for every weaker track they have on even their best albums, I can just imagine if they just held back their output for their main album output for one cycle, they could easily put out the best They Might Be Giants album ever if they just took all the best tracks from this album cycle and just combined the best efforts out of the two, and then put all the remaining material onto like a B-side compilation. They could put out this super album of like wicked hardcore amazing They Might Be Giants tracks. What is with these legs? I don't even know. So here is the first panel of Mr. Shivers, Bonehead's boss. And he's all in shadows in this one. Oh, I can get into that top 5 now, can't I? It's getting messy on me, this brush. Not do that. Okay. Number 5. Coming in at number 5, top track song book. If you ask me, actually, I'm gonna make you wait a little longer. I'm gonna heat up my tea.